Today we have a 2025 Mazda CX-70. In this video, I'll talk about what the CX-70 is, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it.
Now, I bet your first question is, what the hell is the CX-70 and how is it a different model from the CX-90 if they look the same? Don't worry, I was confused myself. When I first heard rumors about it, I thought it was going to be smaller than the CX-90, maybe similar to the CX-60 offered in Asia and Europe, but that wasn't Mazda's plan. The CX-70 is basically the CX-90 without the third row seating. It also features slightly aggressive front and rear fascias and less brightwork in favor of black trim. Now, every version of the CX-70 has the same base price as its CX-90 equivalent. However, the 90 is offered in a lower spec, which makes the entry-level variant cheaper than the 70. And that's despite the fact that the CX-90 has an extra row of seats. Okay, I'm not gonna confuse you anymore, so let's talk about the technical aspects. The CX-70 has been engineered with electrification in mind, with all powertrains featuring some form of hybridization. You can choose from a mild hybrid 3.3-liter turbocharged inline-6, available with 280 or 340 horsepower in case of the Turbo S variant that you see here, or a 323 horsepower plug-in hybrid with a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder under the hood and 26 miles of electric range only. All variants feature an 8-speed automatic transmission and rear-biased all-wheel drive drivetrain. Yes, you heard it right, the CX-70 is built on a rear-wheel drive architecture. It features a double wishbone front suspension and a multi-link setup in the back with conventional dampers, no adaptive suspension available.
Now, before we talk how it all works together, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space.
The cabin of the CX-70 is truly impressive, and I am not afraid to say that the quality-wise, not only is this the best cabin among mainstream SUVs, but it's also better than what Acura MDX or the Lexus RX or TX offered. You get a good mix of different materials, including suede, soft-touch plastics, and aluminum, and the touch points that matter have pleasant texture and feeling. The amount of buttons might seem overwhelming at first, but once you learn what's where, you will be happy with having physical controls for things that you use frequently, such as setting up the temperature, fan speed, or a 360-degree camera. Now, no rose is without thorns, and one thing Mazda could have done differently is the interior storage. The door pockets don't offer much space, and the center console isn't generous either, including the area under the armrest. The front seats wrapped in Nappa leather with heating and cooling provide good comfort and zero support, something that is a hard pill to swallow in a sporty SUV. The driving position, on the other hand, is great. It feels like you sit in a car, not on top of it. Moving to the back, just like the CX-90, the 70 shines, offering tons of legroom and headroom, and the bench seat can be adjusted for your needs. The third zone climate control and USB-C ports are kind of expected in this day and age, and I don't think your passengers will complain when traveling in the back of the CX-70. The trunk is very spacious, probably offering the most room in the segment, and you get that extra storage under the floor as there is no third row of seats.
So, that was the interior of the Mazda CX-70. Let's get it on the road now and see how it drives.
After taking off in the CX-70, you feel right away that this isn't your average midsize SUV which prioritizes comfort. The thing that makes Mazda different is their focus on driving dynamics, and you can tell this is what the CX-70 was designed in mind with. The price we pay for all of that, however, is a stiff ride, and I'll talk about it in a second. The handling capabilities and body control are great for an SUV of this size. It feels balanced through corners, and all CX-70s are equipped with Mazda's kinematic posture control system, which brakes the inside rear wheel in the corner. You can feel that when tossing this 4,800-pound SUV, and I was impressed with what this thing is capable on my favorite back roads. The only thing that should have been calibrated differently is the steering. It's slow, and while it allows you for precise corrections mid-corner, it can be annoying on a day-to-day basis. In general, I wouldn't say that the way the chassis is tuned is punishing, but driving the CX-70 requires getting used to, and from a ride quality perspective, small, sudden impacts transmit more vibrations to the cabin than expected, so while the CX might be the best handling SUV in the segment, it certainly isn't the best riding. The competition just does it better and prioritizes comfort over driving dynamics. Now, while the concept of an inline 6-cylinder engine may not be new to Mazda, the drivetrain found in the CX-70 most definitely is. And I gotta say, for a first attempt, Mazda did a great job combining the straight 6 with a mild hybrid system. The motor maybe isn't the most refined unit on the market, but the power delivery is linear, the computer knows when to shut the engine off and turn it back on without making you lose your mind, and it's quite impressive how fuel efficient the CX-70 is. I averaged 23 miles per gallon in the city, 30 on highway, and 25 combined, which are strong numbers for a vehicle of this size with a 6-cylinder motor under the hood. The 8-speed transmission prioritizes smoothness, and its logic could be a little better, but as I said, for a first attempt, this powertrain is pretty good. So that was the new Mazda CX-70. With everything we covered, let's jump to the final thoughts. The Mazda CX-70 is a great SUV, and while some might question its existence, given it's just a CX-90 with more edgy styling and lack of third row of seats, it's an interesting proposition for people who put driving dynamics first and hate plain, vanilla SUVs. It was clearly designed with driving dynamics in mind, and while the body control is good and it's quite impressive what this thing is capable of, a stiffer ride may not be for everyone, as most buyers in the segment want isolating experience. I'm very curious to see how the market reacts to this SUV.
If you have any questions about the CX-70, feel free to drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.